Hey guys, I'm Jeff and welcome back to Home Built Workshop.
And I'm Mrs. Jeff, and today we're going to be talking about torque wrenches.
Okay, so for those of you who have been following my builds will know that I've been recently rebuilding the engine for my Datsun 240Z. And one of the most important tools for engine rebuilds and for most mechanical work is a torque wrench. Now, torque wrenches come in a range of different styles and types. For those who don't even really know what it is, a torque wrench is a wrench that you can adjust the setting of so you can get a certain amount of pressure on a nut or a bolt. As I said, they come in a range of different styles. So I've got a range of sizes here which cover a range of different torque settings. So we've got a small 1/4-inch drive one with for the lower torque settings, all the way up to the 1/2-inch drive one for a much higher torque settings. So the basic and one of the most common types is this style here. Basically it has your range on the arm of the wrench, and you just screw in the handle until you reach the required torque setting, which actually compresses the spring inside here, and that will adjust where your torque wrench clicks. When you're using it, when you bring it round and it reaches the required torque setting, it clicks. Another style of torque wrench I really like, and I'm really coming to love actually, is these little adapters. So this is a little digital adapter that just turns any ratchet into a torque wrench. So you just connect it on and you can adjust your setting here, and it gives you a digital readout of the torque rating as you're going. So you can sit there and watch the screen as you're torquing it up and watch the torque rating go up, and it will beep when you get close to the mark and then give a higher pitch beep when you hit the correct torque setting. So what are some of the important things to know when using a torque wrench? Well, there's a few things. Basically, you want to make sure that your threads are clean in whatever nuts or bolts you're using, because you need a nice, smooth, accurate motion to get your correct torque settings. Something you may find interesting is actually when you're torquing down the bolts inside an engine, which are arguably the most important bolts on any car, because if they come out, the whole engine's going to go kaput. They don't actually have any other locking mechanism on them. It is all on the torque rating. So you want to get that right. If you over torque them, you can snap the bolts. If you under torque them, they can come undone. You may be surprised to know that there is no Loctite or anything on the bolts on the inside of the engine. It is actually just on the torque rating, and you actually grease the bolts up. That is so you get a nice smooth action and you can get a nice accurate torque rating. You imagine if you've got any bits of grit inside the thread, it sort of makes a harder spot, which will throw off your reading, and you might actually hit the torque rating on the torque wrench, but it's inaccurate because of that grit, and it may let go later. One of the things to remember when you're actually applying the torque to a nut or a bolt is you want to make sure that you have a nice, smooth, even action. So you don't want to be ratcheting away and just sort of stop when it clicks. You want to try and get it to a nice close spot and then bring it around slowly and smoothly and evenly as possible until it clicks. That is the way to get the most even and accurate torque rating across all of your bolts, which is what you are going for. One of the things you need to watch with torque wrenches is when they're new, they're tested generally in the factory to reach a certain torque specification. Once they get a bit older, the springs can get a bit relaxed and you won't necessarily get the same torque setting that you did originally. What I really like is actually using these together. So I've got the adapter and the regular torque wrench, and what I can do is I can use them to check each other, at least so that they are consistent, just to give me a bit of peace of mind to know that they're still within spec and they're both still reading at least the same as each other. So hopefully they're reading true. Last little piece of information I'd like to sort of mention on these spring style torque wrenches is when you're finished, it is really important to unwind the torque setting each time. Don't leave it torqued up to the rating, because that's one of the best ways for you to weaken the spring and render these inaccurate. And if it's not accurate, then it's not much use, is it? So that's a quick overview of torque wrenches and what they are, and they're definitely a vital part of your workshop. See you guys.